Hey y'all, welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and today we're going to talk about all of the ARCs that I need to read in the month of April, better known as my April TBR. So if you are watching this, just know that I am currently buried alive in ARC copies, meaning that I have so many advanced reader copy books that I am up to my eyeballs and I gotta swim my way through it. So this includes all of the ARCs that I have for the month of April. I do have 2 from the month of March. Granted, they were the last week. And when 3 authors put out books that you wanna read, you've got some prioritization. And I prioritize how I best saw accordingly fit, meaning that JL Seekers got top priority, meaning that now I have to read the other 2 this month. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into all the things that I need to get to. As you all know, that this month is a Polycon, so I'm trying to read the ARCs in priority of their release date, but also who is going to be at a Polycon. So first and foremost, I will be reading Isabel Lucero's Lights, Camera, and Passion. This comes out, I believe it is the 8th, which is an enemies to lovers celebrity romance. They are both actors. It is a male-male romance where it's opposite attracts and workplace. So this is a situation in which the 2 main stars for this film are going to be co-stars and they have to build a relationship on screen. And obviously that turns into a little bit more off screen and they're working past their dislikes of one another and working through that in a healthy theatrical way. On the 9th comes the sequel or the second installment to one of my top 10 books from last year. So last year I read Defensive Stance by Keisha Thompson. I did receive an ARC of this as well and I loved it. Keisha Thompson has a new fan in me. And so the second one in the series, which is known as Jump Ball, this is coming out on the 9th. It is also a basketball, so a sports romance where you have our female main character. She is a billionaire and she actually has inherited the Las Vegas Ramblers team from her father who has passed away, I believe, or either has retired. So she has ownership of the team and she is in a situation where she starts to fall for the main head coach who is a single parent. So this is a cute, taboo, forbidden relationship between the owner of the team and the main head coach. Next, moving on to another book that is coming out that I actually just got on my doorstep today. Like, y'all don't know. I had to message her and be like, hey girl, I don't want to bother you, but I see everybody else has theirs and I'm patiently waiting outside for the mailman to come up. And she said, hey sis, don't worry, I got you. And she did, because Elizabeth Stevens graced me with Shadowlands Omega, which is the second in her Omegaverse series. That is the Gatamura's series, which look at this bald-headed beauty. Like, get into it. I am so excited. I don't necessarily need to know any other tropes for this because it is Omegaverse. And one thing you all know, I might not necessarily be the biggest fan of Omegaverse, but if Elizabeth writes it, I'm gonna read it. And it does have some nice, spicy artwork that I'm not going to show you. But if you are curious, go ahead and look at Elizabeth Stevens' page and get into it because baby, she is making a way for all of us to get our hopes and dreams in this book. And it is thick. When I tell you, sister girl said, I'm writing and I'm going to give you everything I've got, I said, I'll take it. So needless to say, that's going to take a primarily lot of my time because she's going to be at a Polycon as well. Next, moving into another release that's coming out in the month of April. I believe it's coming out around the 16th. I actually have an advanced reader copy of this from a NetGalley, but it is on my 12 for 12 reads, and that is going to be Maya Ariel's When I Think of You. This is a second chance, forced proximity workplace relationship, very similar to Isabel Lucero in the fact that this centers the film industry, and you have a director and a person that I'm assuming is going to be aspiring writer. And for whatever reason, when they were back in college or in high school, they had a romance, and somehow one's career took off and the other one's did not. And now they're back together. The one that has the career that has exploded is trying to put the other one on. And for whatever reason, there's a little bit of animosity. Now, I'm going to take a pause because I do want to talk about the 2 books that are rolling over from March. One is going to be Sarah Kate's Homewrecker. That is the second in her latest release of the series. This is a polyamorous, male, female cheating trope, marriage in trouble, that has a little bit of enemies to lovers. And when I tell you, I am going to make sure I read this because Sarah Kate will be at a Polycon as well. And I've heard really great things about this particular storyline. But you all know that the cheating trope in our romance books does not necessarily bother me, which lends me to reading this next book, which is an ARC romance as well. Last year, one of my favorite books, one of my top 10 for 2023 was C.P. Harris's The Good Liar. And now she has the third in the sequel in the series, which is known as The Caretaker. This came out last week as well, the final week of March, which again is a cheating trope romance, but it is centering amnesia. It is second chance romance, hurt, comfort, slow burn. And so these two are going to pair really nice together for me to go ahead and wrap up my March reads that need to be taken care of. But no doubt I am fully covered to make sure that those will be taken care of. Now, if y'all have not heard, I am on the ARC team for my girl Kenya Gory Bell, and she is churning and burning. She is putting out releases faster than her ARC team can read them, but by golly, are we trying. The next in the Bad Blood series. So the last one that I read was Toxic. I also have Darling Nikki. You all know my favorite is Easy Like Sunday Morning, but the one that I have been waiting for ever since book 1 and book 2 came out is Candy's book, and that is known as Candy Shop. This is Kenya Gory Bell's second chance small town enemies to lovers romance that I am salivating for. You've got our female main character who is the gossip of the town, baby. She stays 2 things. She stays drunk and she stays in the know. And I love her because she creates a ruckus, but she's down for her people. And Candy is stirring up trouble. And whose doorstep does she find herself on but her ex-flame, which is the sheriff of the town. He has come back in town and come home to roost, and he's like, hey, I see that this woman is creating a problem for my town, and she's getting too close to my business, whatever that business may be. So I'm going to lock her up. But one thing he doesn't understand is Candy may actually like to be handcuffed, baby. And that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the banter that goes between the two, because one thing is for sure, Candy has a whole lot of mouth and she's going to give him the business. And I just think that he's been waiting for the chance to put her in her place, and I can't wait to read it. Again, this is a dark romance. It is, everything about Kenya is unhinged, and I love her for it. So y'all will be getting my thoughts on Candy Shop because I gotta have it. Now, the last 2 books. If I haven't done myself enough damage, I've got 2 more books to add to the list. One is an arc, one is just continuing on in the series because I am trying to get as many series completed or gone through in this year that I possibly can. But the next and final arc that I have, hopefully nothing else come in because I can't take another arc, but I will. If anyone's listening, I will take another one. But I will be reading the sequel to Blood Debts, which is Blood Justice by Terry J. Benson Walker. This is a YA paranormal fantasy where you have 2 twins. So you have a set of twins. You have Clem and what is his sister's name? Christina. So Clem and Chris are so different, but so similar in the fact that they have competing interests, but one thing they do is love each other and love their family and their magic system down. In this book, I won't give you too much. In the first in the sequel, or the first in the series, they were at odds. Clem was going through a lot of things. He was losing people that he loved. He couldn't figure out what was happening, and his sister had given up magic. And then we learned that there's a lot of things that are going on in this town. They lost magic, they lost power, they lost control, and they were fighting to get it back. And that didn't come without its bumps and bruises. And in this sequel, you get to see all of the same characters, but elevated to a new height. We have a lot going on. A lot of secrets have been unveiled, but I still think there's plenty more secrets to go around. And I can't wait to read it. Let me tell you, this blew me out of the water. So much so that I was like, yeah, I gotta have a copy, please. And Blood Justice came on and I said, download, request. Gotta have it. So I really need to get back into my YA bag, and I think Terry's book is going to be the one that does it for me. And the last book that I have on my hopefuls. Now, this is a hopeful. If I don't get it done, that's okay. I've already read 2 in the series, but I wanted to get as far as I could before I saw her at Apollycon, and that's going to be Sophie Lark's Savage Lover. This is the 3rd in the Brutal Birthright series. This is Nero's book, and Nero is someone I was like, yeah, I'm a vibe with you. I understand. This is a mafia romance where this one centers a heist. So I believe the female main character is the first character that we have that is not a part of a mafia family. And sometimes we just have to switch it up. And I've heard that these two are the Bonnie and Clyde of the series, and I'm down for it. And honestly, I'm reading this one so I can get to my boo thing, Dante, who is next. And really, I'm just here to make sure that I do all the prerequisite reading before I can truly tell you I'm in love with Dante Gallo. But that's not going to be in April because I can't take another thing on. But I am going to try to read Nero's book and try to see what Sophie is going to be able to give me in the meantime, because this book has lavender. My fingernails are lavender. Do me a favor, leave me a purple heart, which is my favorite heart emoji. If you don't want to do that, tell me what you all are reading in the month of April or what new release you're waiting to come out, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.